Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and we're going to go over these in a budget way. We're going to talk about all of the blessings that you can get, which ones really work, like when you're 1 to 3 star, because more than likely that's what you've got, right? It's not very easy to get these higher star ratings. You just have to get lucky, and there's no control over it. So real quick before we jump into it, because it's pretty simple. From what I've been playing around with, it's pretty cut and dry on the blessings you're going to want for certain types of heroes in certain areas of the game. But definitely, it really does come down to the soul merchant. Right now, I'm debating. I've got a few that I can destroy and try to get Herndig. You really want to be focusing the best of the best, right? You want to focus down the best heroes that you can, because you're going to be able to improve those heroes, but it gets stupid expensive. So I've got Raglan at 3 star. And it's offered me twice now, just because of the luck of the rotation, a 4 star, but 300 of these essence, that's a lot of essence. So you want to only really be working on heroes that you use in content, guaranteed all the time. They are go-to heroes. Counterintuitive to this is you're seeing Kraken right here. It's offering me a one star upgrade, but this won't happen if you have, I actually have a 4 star for Kraken, but I didn't use it until today, which is a mistake. So let's talk about your awakening system. If you plan on using any of these souls that you have, if you're going to use them, I really suggest putting them on, because once they show up in the market, had I already equipped Kraken with his 4 star, then in this, what am I doing? Lord mercy. In this merchant market, he would have showed up here as a 5 star split soul to guarantee that he goes to 5 star. I have no idea how much that would cost, but in the end, that's what you want to do. Taking good heroes all the way to 6 star. So all that being said, as expensive as it gets, this is a rare, and it's insane, right? So as expensive as this gets, you want to be really, really picky. As bad as I want Herndig, I may wait because I need to build these up and not break down anything I have, in my soul collection until it's time to get something for real. But good heroes like this, I do suggest, if I had the 20, I would go ahead and do it, because your good heroes that you do use get huge benefit even from 1 star, and that's what we're going to talk about. You're going to be dealing with 1 to 3 star on a lot of your heroes. So real quick, arena nukers, almost guaranteed you're going to be going with the one and only mastery for them, Soul Reap. It is insane. It does work in PvP, PvE. It works on bosses if you get them to the threshold. So even at 1 star, a 4% threshold, I'm telling you, in PvE, this comes in more handy than it does in PvP right now. Once you get down here to a 20% threshold, it's going to be insane. Anywhere you go, insane. This is where you're going to want to put your arena nukers. They're going to get that crit damage, an attack boost for a lot of your arena nukers, and even defensive arena nukers still, in my opinion, it outweighs going in Soul Reap. Even though he doesn't get a boost to his defense, he will get the crit damage, and he will be finishing off heroes that he just couldn't finish off. And then when you do get to the end, the True Fear, when you're coming up against Swift Parry, absolutely going to be brilliant. Going to make them waste their turn so that their unkillable wears off, and then you can finish the job. So that's pretty much cut and dry. That is the go-to when it comes to a real solid arena nuker. Speaking of arena, another one you can see I have here on the Kret and on Raglan is going to be Intimidating Presence. This right here is definitely something you're going to want multiple heroes to have, but not multiple heroes that you tend to run on the same team. You can't double up on this, but like right now at 3 stars, even at 1 star, look at the increase. Your aura gets a 7.5% increase. The enemies gets a decrease of 10. Not only is this great for you trying to outspeed or out-resist your opponent, but it's going to become necessity, because in arena, if you're not paying attention, you will see a lot of this on your opponent's teams before you even go into the fight. They're using this, so to even negate what they have, you at least need it on your team. So definitely arena support champions are going to want this. It has decent stats for survivability. So it's just kind of the go-to for your support champions as well. Again, having 2 on the same team doesn't help you out a lot, but having 2 good support champions for arena so you can make multiple teams using that, super awesome. Now, honestly, the rest of there are plenty. I'm not snubbing any of the other blessings. Let's go to, we're looking around the Lightning Cage. I've got it on 1 hero right now, trying it out. A lot of the other ones really are not going to have a chance to shine until you get to 5 or 6 star. And that's really the way it is. We'll go into that because next we're going to talk about even getting into epics and rares. We're going to talk about like clan boss or boss blessings. So my clan boss damage consistently has gone up about 10 million simply due to these master. I keep calling them masteries. It's what it feels like, super masteries. But this right here, you know, I'm getting between 192, 195, where I was doing that around 182, 185. And it's really consistent. I only have 2 blessings. I'm going to call them masteries. I only have 2 blessings on my entire team, but they're insane. And there are 3 worth noting. So I want you not to make the mistake on one of them. So I want to go to Seeker because he has cruelty on. All right, let's talk about cruelty. And while we're talking about it, I want to bring up one that's going to draw you in. And it's absolutely worth it if you have a 6-star hero, or is it 5? Yeah, 6 stars. So Crushing Rend. Let's kind of compare the two. What does Crushing Rend do? Starting out, what it does is each round, so one time, the beginning of clan boss, a number of this champion's hits will ignore the target's defense. Okay, that's great. It has good stats. That's great. So when you're starting out at 1, 3, even on 5-star, only 2 hits count. For those 2 hits, you're going to ignore 1% damage for every 25 levels. The clan boss is 250 on Ultra Nightmare. So you see you're going to easily negate 10% defense, right? It's like wearing half of a Savage set for 2 hits. That's it. And then it's over. The whole benefit of this is gone except for the really good stat bonuses. And then it's over, right? Once you hit 6-star, it will ignore a percentage of the target's defense every hit. That's huge. This changes everything. Now, at every 10 levels, well, we're talking about a level 250 boss. Now you're ignoring 25% defense. That is like wearing a Savage set. So this champion, if they are able to do damage and now ignore 25% and maybe even be in a Savage set, could get up to ignoring 50 or more damage depending on what you're wearing in your gear. That will up their damage tremendously. But in comparison, we need to go here and we need to look at cruelty. So cruelty, even at level 1, is going to ignore, this is small, but listen to what it does. 1%, okay, the way it's worded, not ignore. It will take away 1% of the defense of the boss. So whenever this champion hits the enemy, it decreases their defense until the end of the round. That's the full fight of the clan boss. It occurs once per hit, and so multi-hitters like Seeker actually get this out twice. So quickly they're going to ramp it up to the maximum. At one star, you're going to decrease their defense by 1% per hit up to 5%. So 5 hits, his job's done for the rest of the fight. The entire team is fighting a boss with 5% less damage. In effect, your entire team is getting ignore 5% defense. And that's for the entirety of the fight, even on a 1-star. And of course, when you get down here, you're going to be quickly ignoring 20%. That's almost a Savage set for your entire clan boss team. This definitely cruelty outweighs Crushing Rend by a country mile because the entire team gets the benefit. But that being said, on this same team, let's say my Demitha had cruelty, well then Seeker could do even more damage by, there's no point in stacking cruelty. He could jump over here and take Crushing Rend and do even more damage himself. So that's one way you can stack them both. But right now, to make my whole team do more damage, I'm sticking with cruelty. It's absolutely insane. Some of these are not even worth messing with unless you want to try out a poison arena team or an HP burn arena team. Chainbreaker is really good for debuffers. I'm using it on a few people. But and Commanding Presence is the epic version of actually increasing your aura. It does not break down the team's aura, so you're going to want Legendary's Intimidating Presence as often as you can, but if you aren't able to come across it, this is a great way to at least boost your aura, at least help to negate what they're doing to your aura if they have Intimidating Presence. So keep that in mind. But when it comes to these epic, the real standouts are Cruelty and Crushing Rend. But remember, Crushing Rend is to make one character stronger, and it performs almost not worth having until you're 6-star. So be very careful early on. Budget, the number one go-to to me is Cruelty. It's absolutely amazing. And we won't go, let's not go too far into the rares. I've heard this said, the way this is worded, it does not increase your heals. It just fixes that damage to your max HP against certain heroes. So there's not a lot of places you're going to want this. It is possible on early clan boss or Hydra boss, you may be coming up against those heads and it's messing you up, and you can fix that with a healer. But it's really a pretty bad. A lot of these are pretty bad. So honestly, my opinion when it comes to the rares, Phantom Touch is pretty amazing. It's kind of like having extra War Master procs as you go. This is actually a good damage dealing potential. You could potentially even put it on an epic. It's good enough to consider. And it has decent stats, right? You get decent stat boosts as you go. Definitely at level 1, it's one of the best ones to go for, because the rest of them, honestly, you're looking for stats. There are some niche uses for each of these, but in the end, follow the stats. Get the stats that you want, because this right here, resistance is hard to come by. With some extra HP, this could be really good for some whoever you're using and you want high resist on. Maybe you got a Reliquary Tender or an Apothecary in Arena still. This is a cool way to boost their stats. Aside from that, Phantom Touch is about all there is. So let's real quick just look at some of this. I showed you it has consistently brought me up about 10 million damage just having 2. Oh yeah, the number one go-to. How did I not talk about this yet? So you're going to end up with this on a lot of heroes. Lydia is the one bringing a big ton of damage to the clan boss because she has the one and only Brimstone. At level 1, this is still a brilliant ability. The only difference in level 1 and any other level is the 20% chance. Instead of going up and getting more and more chance up to 100%, which is insane. But at 1%, this is tearing things up. So I actually saw in the market, or whatever you want to call it, the Soul Merchant, Helicath, right? And the only place I use him is Iron Twins Fortress. Absolutely great, because I do not have Geo, right? You're going to hear about Geo a lot from me. I still don't have him. So I can put this on full auto without Geo and still beat it in under 3 minutes, right? Geo pretty much does this in 2.5 minutes on any team that can beat this boss, right? Bring some resistance, bring a reviver, bring Geo, over 2.5 minutes. Well, now I have the ability. I have to do a second here real quick. I have the ability. Look, this is a 20% chance at level 1. We've already got it smite up. And because the counterattacks are coming in, we're getting the cooldown on each double hit. It's taking that cooldown down really, really quickly. So at a 20% chance, I'm still going to have it up for most of the fight. And just watch the damage, the nukage. And hopefully it shows up, because 20% chance, watch. This will be the fight that it's not up almost the entire fight. But real quick, here we go. And he gets so many counterattacks, Helicath specifically, that is boosting his odds of putting it up. So now that it's up, we wait for one of these turns to come in. The meteor comes down. Oh, that wasn't an active ability. We wasted it. We'll try again. Here we go. So here comes in an active ability. Comes down 367,000, just as quick as it could be. So real quick, I'm just going to let this finish out and then we'll move on.
I know where the darkness lies. Felt the shadows cross my eye. Now I'm not afraid to see. The strength is building up in me. Sing, oh, sing,
So it's just going to wipe this guy. We've already got smite back up. It takes a hit. Look at that hit. Absolutely amazing. You're going to have Brimstone on so many legendary heroes. If they're not a nuker, if they're not a real serious arena, you could bring it into arena. It's not that impressive against heroes, but other people's champions in PvP. But I'm telling you right now, it is ridiculous on boss content. Hydra, absolutely amazing. We're going to keep this short. I just wanted you to see the best bang for your buck, right? When you're getting these 1 stars. So the question now, and let me know how it's going for you and how you think about it all, because this is just me thinking out loud here. When it comes to this, basically, if a good hero pops up, get the 1 star. It's going to be forever, honestly, before you can afford the 2, 3, 4-star upgrades, right? It takes a lot. I mean, good luck to you all. I hope that you do pull with a few. I mean, every now and then we're getting these. I can go grind some more. Here, we got a soulstone now. Let's make one right now. These always go into this, and then we have a chance to pull, right? So let's pull and see if we get lucky. Some of you have gotten very lucky. I just saw we earned more tokens for hitting 10, which is definitely cool. And this will be sold, and then we collect this, and we continue making as much as we can. We go back to the, well, we might be doing this right now. That might be just enough for me to make more of these. And then, honest to goodness, I use Hurt and Dig enough. I'm getting the 1-star, and you guessed it, he goes up against bosses. He's getting Brimstone. Smite, baby. Smite. So I'm going to put it on him. I got to go upgrade him. So that's the way I see going about it. It's going to be forever before I get anybody actually all the way up to a 6-star, unless I'm just lucky, right? Pure rotten luck. So I'm going to pull every chance I can get and keep building these people up until I'm accumulating. Eventually I'm already getting there. A lot of these have, the little red stars. And as we get there, I'll be able to kind of wait it out. I don't need to put everybody in this. I'm going to sell what I can stand to sell here. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue building up the better heroes I have. That's the way I see doing it, because it's going to be such a long time before I can use those 6 stars without pure rotten luck. I plan on using these 1-stars that have blessings that work at 1-star to my advantage. Anyways, let me know how it's going for you and what you think. Maybe you've got some 5, 6 stars and you could tell us more about bone armor, lightning cage, ones that don't seem to work nearly as effectively until you're at least 5 or 6 stars. That's why I'm just avoiding them for now. Mostly I played around with a few and they're just not worth having yet. But when we get to 6-star, they may be. So drop your comments. Let me know how it's going. And until next time, enjoy the grind.